give me some, just start tapping. And we spoke
Mhm.
a bit before about the past life um, channeling about abandonment. And one of the things that you talked about was love is dangerous. Your husband suicided not so long ago. Close friend um, said he left you to save you. Um, so it feels like there is like some sacrifice on their behalf in order to save you.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny, just even um as the channeling went on, just feeling like it wasn't just those two. It's a very poignant narrative.
Hmm.
And um I've lost probably 5 or 6 friends since Ari passed because they couldn't handle the way Ari died, or
Right.
they felt like they couldn't be there enough for me. So I don't know. I feel like it is this weird narrative of they have to leave to save me,
Hmm.
but I call bullshit.
Yeah. Okay. So where do you feel that in your body when you are
In my
feeling?
chest, it feels like, and I drew it when we were talking, it feels like a shattered heart.
Yeah. Okay. So I want you to, as we're going, tell me what's going on for you, and if you get any flashes of scenes or anything like that, let me know. Okay. And if you need to
Okay.
change the words or add to them in any way, then do that. Hmm.
Okay.
Even though I have this feeling in my chest like a shattered heart,
Even though I have this feeling in my chest like a shattered heart,
it feels like I have this narrative that people have to leave me to save me.
it feels like I have this narrative that people have to leave me to save me.
And it brings up emotion.
And it brings up a lot of emotion.
I ask my body, my guides, and higher self
I ask my body, my guides, my higher self
to help me understand where this comes from.
to help me understand where this comes from. I keep seeing a towel being wrung out, water being wrung out,
Hmm.
but it's still here.
Yeah. And I see this towel being wrung out, and I feel it in my heart.
And I see this towel being wrung out and I feel it in my heart.
I ask all pieces and parts of me to help me process and release this,
I ask for all the pieces and parts of me to help me release this,
all the way back to its origins,
all the way back to its origins,
in this life and every life.
in this life and in every life.
My husband Ari left me
My husband Ari left me
the way he left me.
the way he left me.
It was really hard to handle.
He died by hanging, so I can see this squeezing now.
Hmm. He died by hanging. I can see the squeezing.
He died by hanging. I can see the squeezing now.
And it feels like a towel being wrung out in my chest.
And it feels like a towel being wrung out in my chest.
And it feels like my heart is shattering.
And it feels like my heart is shattering.
Everything I can see and imagine.
Everything I can see and imagine.
How he did it.
How he did it.
It brings up all this sadness and emotion.
Did he even think of me before he did it? Did I matter? I think that's a big one.
Did he even think of me?
Did he even think of me?
Did I matter?
Did I matter
In that moment, he
in
was
that
so,
moment?
he was so engrossed in what was going on for him.
In that moment, he was so engrossed in what was going on with him.
I wasn't considered.
I wasn't considered.
And I can still see,
I can still see it.
and I see this towel being wrung out in my chest.
I see this Talvin run out in my chest,
and my heart shattering.
and my heart shattering. It's getting easier.
Did he even think of me? Did I even matter?
Did he even think of me, or did I even matter?
Was he in so much pain that he thought of nothing else than escaping the pain?
Was he in so much pain that he thought of nothing else other than escaping his pain?
I asked my guides and higher self
I asked my guides and my higher self
to help me understand all of this,
to help me understand all of this,
to understand our soul contracts and agreements,
to understand our soul contracts and agreements.
this pattern that I found in my life.
Pattern I found in my life.
Not only him leaving, but others too.
Not only him leaving, but others too. And I didn't have a choice.
This feeling I didn't have a choice. I didn't have a say.
I didn't have a say. I would have left with him.
Mm-hmm. I would have left with him.
But I couldn't leave that way too. That would have destroyed our kids.
Mm-hmm. It would have destroyed our kids.
It would have destroyed our kids.
And I asked his soul
And I asked his soul
to help me understand our soul agreement.
to help me understand our soul agreement
Of why it had to happen this way.
why it had to happen this way.
Because at a human level, I don't get it.
On a human level, I don't get it.
At a human level, I'm feeling all of this emotion.
On a human level, I'm feeling all of this emotion.
But the soul part of me knows this is how it was agreed upon.
But the soul part of me knows that this is what we agreed upon. I even had a midbrain stroke after he died.
Mm.
So my body responded to the side I saw. Everything shut off.
Everything shut off.
Everything shut off.
My body's response to what I saw.
My body's response to what I saw.
My midbrain, my emotional center, it shut off.
My midbrain, my emotional center, it shut off.
I didn't want to feel what I was seeing.
I didn't want to feel what I was seeing.
All of this emotion still trapped in my body.
All of this emotion still trapped in my body.
When I remember seeing what I saw.
When I remember seeing what I saw.
When I remember thinking I wanted to go with him.
When I remember thinking I wanted to go with him.
But I
He
couldn't.
robbed me of that.
He robbed me of being with him.
He robbed me of being with him.
But
And then I felt guilty because I wanted to go.
all this guilt,
All this guilt.
I couldn't do that to our children.
All this guilt. I couldn't do that to our children.
Part of me feeling guilt that I wanted to go.
Part of me feeling guilt because I wanted to go.
My midbrain shutting down because I didn't want to acknowledge what I saw.
My midbrain shutting down because I didn't want to acknowledge what I saw.
I asked my guides and higher self
I asked my guides and my higher self,
my body, my subconscious,
my body, my subconscious,
the multidimensional layers of DNA and my current DNA.
multi-dimensions of my DNA and my current DNA.
To help me process and release what no longer serves me.
Help me process and release what no longer serves me.
So I can have the soul understanding.
So I can have the soul understanding.
So I can know that all is well at a soul level.
So that I can know that all is well at a soul level.
Letting my eyes know he hasn't left.
letting my eyes know.
I
I
still,
can't see him, but I can feel him.
I can't see his physical body, but I can feel him.
I can't see his physical body, but I can feel him.
And he's able to be closer to me without a physical body.
That's probably really true. He was a workaholic. That's true. He can be closer
Without the physical body.
without the physical body.
In the physical body, he was tormented and he was a workaholic.
In his physical body, he was tormented and a workaholic.
And in his non-physical form, he's able to support and love me even more.
And in his non-physical body, he is able to love me and support me even more.
But I still have this towel being wrung out feeling in my chest.
I still feel this towel being wrung out feeling in my chest.
And this heart shattered feeling.
And this heart shattered feeling.
And I feel alone.
And I feel alone, begging them to not leave.
That begging feeling not to leave.
A begging feeling not to leave.
And part of me knows he hasn't left.
A part of me knows he hasn't left.
But the human part of me feels his physical absence.
But the human part of me feels his physical absence.
The human part of me feels the emotional absence.
The physical part of me, maybe that's where I'm stuck. Can you say it again?
The physical part of me feels the emotional abandonment.
The physical part of me knows the emotional abandon.
And I thank that part of me for holding on
And
to
I thank that part of me for holding on to it,
to protect me in some way.
to protect me in some way.
But it no longer serves me to hold on to these emotions
It no longer serves me to hold on to these emotions
or to hold on to this abandonment belief.
or to hold on to this abandonment belief that keeps replaying like a broken record.
This abandonment belief that keeps playing like a broken record.
This abandonment feeling and belief that feels like a broken record.
I ask my guides and higher self
I ask my guides and my higher self
to help me process and release this abandonment belief
to help me process and release this abandonment belief
all the way back to its origins
all the way back to its origins
in this life and every life.
in this life and in every life,
Especially seeing the hanging
especially seeing the hanging
in this life and other lives.
in this life and in other lives.
I ask the multi-dimensional layers of my DNA
I ask the multi dimensions of my DNA
that remember all my lifetimes.
that remember all of my lifetimes.
Where has this come from originally?
Where has this come from originally?
Seeing a hanging,
Seeing a hanging,
feeling left behind,
feeling left behind,
like I don't matter,
like I don't matter,
like I wasn't considered.
like I wasn't considered. It's easier to hurt me.
It's
I've
easier.
always been the strong one, so it's easier to hurt me because I'd get over it.
Mm-hmm. I'm the strong one.
I'm the strong one.
I've always been the strong one.
I've always been the strong one.
I always get over it.
I always get over it.
I wonder where this comes from.
I wonder where this comes from.
Asking that part of my mind that I call imagination.
Asking that part of my mind that I call imagination.
Asking my guides and higher self to show me.
Asking my guides and my higher self to show me,
Where does all of this come from?
where did all this come from?
When have I felt this before in another life?
It's a huge betrayal. I saw a vision of myself, a strong, like, war maiden, and I was with a king,
Mm-hmm,
but the king was married, and I got pregnant.
mm-hmm,
And he didn't want the baby, and I was going to keep it. They thought he was a good man, but he wasn't.
mm-hmm,
So they, I just keep seeing myself being killed, but it looked like an accident because it was easier to get rid of me and the baby than for him to look like a failure or like a cheater or like he did something wrong in the country.
mm-hmm. This past life memory.
This past life memory
My love affair with a king.
and my love affair with a king.
And I got pregnant from that.
And I got pregnant with that.
And he wanted me to get rid of the pregnancy.
And he wanted me to get rid of the pregnancy.
And I wouldn't.
And I wouldn't. I begged him because I wanted him to see that I was enough.
I begged him because I wanted him to see that I was enough.
I begged him because I wanted him to see that I was enough.
That I was worthy of being loved.
That I was worthy of being loved. Even though I wasn't a queen,
I
I was a
wasn't.
warrior.
I was a warrior, not a queen. I was the strong one.
I was a warrior, not a queen, but I was a strong one.
But he needed a queen.
But he needed a queen, a matriarch.
He needed a matriarch.
And he needed a matriarch.
I was the strong one.
I was a strong one.
I just wanted to be loved.
I just wanted to be loved.
I just wanted to be accepted.
I just wanted to be accepted.
Accepted for who I was with my strength.
Accepted for who I was with my strength.
But he needed a matriarch.
But he needed a matriarch. All
Yeah,
right.
he made,
It's my cat.
he made it look like he made it look like an accident.
He made it look like an accident. That I killed myself.
I killed myself.
I killed myself out of stupidity.
I killed myself out of stupidity.
Killed myself out of stupidity.
And I asked my guides and higher self,
And I asked my guides and my higher self,
do I recognize the soul of the king in that lifetime?
do I recognize the soul of that king in my lifetime? No, not yet.
This karmic pattern.
This karmic pattern.
I killed myself out of stupidity in that life.
I killed myself out of stupidity in that life.
And I asked my guides and higher self,
And I asked my guides and my higher self
to help me rise above that lifetime into spirit.
to help me rise above that lifetime into spirit.
Just keep tapping here and close your eyes. Imagine yourself floating up above that body, that lifetime. floating up even higher into the afterlife, being surrounded by beings of light, leaving behind the human emotions and feelings, gaining the soul perspective and understanding, rising even higher, higher and higher, all the way up to the master beings of light, where you receive higher learning and understanding. Asking them, what was your higher learning and lesson from that lifetime?
Just keep saying you've always been enough. You didn't need a king to validate that.
Mm-hmm. Asking them the relevance for that learning and lesson in this life.
Asking for the relevance and learning in this life.
What message do you receive?
My mother couldn't love me here.
Mm-hmm.
She always kind of hung me up to dry, metaphorically. And that I didn't need her validation to prove that I had worth.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she's a female, she was the king of my household growing up. She
Mm-hmm.
made all the rules.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But my firstborn and I made a choice to come back, to remind ourselves that we didn't need a king, to prove that we were loved and we were enough.
My firstborn and I decided to come back.
My firstborn and I decided to come back.
To know that we were enough.
To know that we were enough.
That I don't need other people's validation.
That I don't need other people's validation, neither does she.
Neither does she. I am enough.
I am enough, and I do matter.
And I do matter.
Her life and my life mattered then, and it matters
Um,
now.
Our life mattered there, and it matters now.
Her life mattered then, and it matters now.
And I give all pieces and parts of me permission to accept that.
And I give all pieces and part of me permission to accept that.
Even my eyes, when I remember seeing my husband had hung himself.
Even my eyes, when I remember seeing that my husband had hung himself. He looked peaceful. I remember my brain couldn't understand because he looked beautiful. He wasn't scary.
Mm-hmm. He was at peace, and he
He
is
was
at
at peace. He is at peace.
And I thank him for holding up his part of our soul contract.
And I thank him for holding up his part of the contract.
So that I could know that I am enough.
So that I could know that I am enough.
That I do matter.
And that I do matter. He really did teach me that. I never even believed I was worthy of water. But he would always tell me, you're wonderful, and you're beautiful, and you're kind and amazing. I didn't believe I was even worthy of love. I didn't even think it existed.
Mm-hmm. And now I know I am worthy of love.
And now I know that I am worthy of love.
I am beautiful and kind.
I am beautiful and kind.
I do matter, and I am enough.
I do matter, and I am enough.
And I know that because of his life and because of his death.
I know that because of his life and because of his death. He made sure me and the kids were taken care of when he died. So I know that we mattered.
I know that we matter.
I know that we matter.
He made sure we were taken care of.
He made sure that we were taken care of.
And I give myself permission to know
I give myself permission to know
that I am loved and I matter,
that I am loved, that I matter,
that I am enough,
that I am enough.
I am worthy of love.
I am worthy of love.
And I honor his life
And I honor his life
and his death
and his death
as part of our soul agreement.
as part of our soul agreement.
I remember seeing how peaceful he looked.
I do remember how peaceful he looked. He looked like an angel. And he left me the matriarch of this house. I became the matriarch anyway.
And I am the matriarch.
And I am the matriarch.
I know I'm loved and taken care of, and I matter.
I know that I'm loved and taken care of, and I matter.
And I know that because of who I am,
And I know that because of who I am,
as a soul and as a human being.
as a soul and as a human being.
And I accept and take on my higher learning and lesson.
And I accept and take on my higher learning and lesson.
I accept how we planned all of this.
I accept how we planned all of this.
He did take us into consideration. He looked after us.
He did take us into consideration and he looked after us. And he's still here. I can feel him.
He's still here, and I know I'm not alone.
He's still here, and I know that I'm not alone.
I am strong. I am the matriarch.
I am strong and I am the matriarch.
And I know I'm enough.
And I know that I'm enough
And I matter.
and I mattered.
And I know I am loved.
And I know that I am loved.
And I'm grateful for that.
And I am grateful for that. So grateful.
And I let my shattered heart mend.
And I let my shattered heart mend.
And I release and let go of this pattern that I'm abandoned.
And I release and let go of this pattern that I'm abandoned.
People leave my life for a reason because of our agreement.
People leave my life because of our agreement.
And I choose to accept those agreements
And I choose to accept those agreements
and learn and grow from them.
and learn and grow from them.
I am enough. I matter.
I am enough and I matter.
I'm loved.
And I am loved.
I'm strong.
I am strong.
I'm the matriarch.
I am the matriarch. I'm the
I-
queen of this castle.
I'm the queen of this castle, and
I am the queen of this castle and I am loved.
awesome. Take a deep breath. Replenish the fluid loss.
Thank you, Jenny. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you.
You're welcome. You did the work there.
Thank you. Thank you for seeing me.
I was following your lead. You was doing the seeing. Yeah. Well done.
Thank you.